Yes, people, welcome back to BBK Sports. Today, I'm not by myself, not a solo stream. I am joined by possibly the most humble champion you will ever meet in football. The humble, the hardworking, the honorable. The words go on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to BBK Sports for his second or third appearance on BBK Sports. Man like Yudi.
I appreciate the introduction. I appreciate it.
Telling me, bro. How are you, man?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I think you must have seen my video on how I lost my nuts for a moment there. I was wanting to get Liverpool to sign three players
Uh-huh.
um, in this transfer window, and I think we do have some news about that. So I'm pretty happy about that. Like we're moving in the right direction now. Yeah, but yeah. That's all I have to say, man.
Yeah, so the new defender is in question is Mark Gahey, yeah?
Marghi and Giovanni Leone, another Italian to the Premier League. I'll be honest about this, right? I haven't seen the player play at all. He's 18 years old.
Mm.
Apparently, the deal is going through for 35 to 40 million euros, right? Um, yeah, try to gauge what he's like as a defender on YouTube, but I couldn't. What
Mm.
I saw from the clips was that he's a great reader of long ball situations. Um, Physically, he looks like he's got a lot of strength in him. So that's one plus point for these new gen Italian defenders coming to the Premier League,
Yeah.
which we are not seeing in the likes of Calafiori, in the likes of Destiny Udogi. I don't know if you remember what Zappacosta did with Chelsea when
Mhm.
he joined them in 2017.
Yeah.
Ran Nokia, right? Another Italian defender who was decent but couldn't really hit the ground running with the Premier League. So, barring a few who have bestowed their presence in the Premier League, I'm not really sure about this one. But yeah, he's 18 and he looks like he's sturdy. He looks like he has some nuance of what he's gonna do defensively. And plus, I think Liverpool are really thinking of sending him back on loan once they sign him, which I
Okay.
don't want. But you never know with the Konate situation looking like he's treading in dangerous waters. Let's see what happens.
Mm. Yeah, man, I hear it, man. Like I said, I've been a big fan of how Liverpool have been conducting this business, this transfer window, and I look at Liverpool in awe, thinking I just wish my club could move that way. But before we go any further, man, I got to big up to Bluebird, big up to Views. Well, going, brother, everything good? Hope you are well. AJ in the building. Appreciate you checking in, AJ. Yudi's link will be in the description throughout. Big up to Gary from Don't Waste the Trip. Appreciate you checking in as well. So, Yudi, I watched the video, the pre-record that you did with the United fans in the other day, and they were trying to press you into a corner about expectations and pressure coming up on the season. Now, you didn't deny that there was pressure. I'm gonna be fair to you. You didn't deny that there was pressure, but I think
Yeah,
you were coming at the angle that they were overstating the pressure that's gonna be on Slash because of the transfer window, right? Did I
yeah,
read that correctly?
yeah. I think what really happened was that jersey that I ordered. Right, the
Mm,
moment I wore it, I don't know what really went in me at the. I thought uh, I thought we weren't doing justice to Florian Wirtz in a way because Florian Wirtz in all the preseason games he's done what he does in his on his usual day, right? Um, I thought his link up, um, he's hit the ground running. His link up is tremendous. He's trying so hard to physically induce himself in situations where I never thought he would. He's tracking back the amount of energy he's expending per 90. It's marvelous to watch. But I just saw a couple of players, man, who've been at the club since the longest, not really replicating the same performance, right?
mm,
And even though I could see the camaraderie, I could see the link up, I could see the chemistry, I couldn't see that desire, that conviction that we've seen from Liverpool in the last couple of seasons, right? And I'm
mm.
just worried a couple of players coming of age um, left major stinkers last season. I'm not going to name them right now. Maybe you might want me to, but I've gotten cancelled once. I'm
Yeah,
not getting cancelled twice. Yeah. So
yeah, yeah, I got you. Yeah, but the expectations for this season, right? Based on whether or not Isaac comes or he stays, I still believe you get him. I really do. I think that relationship at Newcastle is it's irreparable damage has been done. He can't go back there. It's to me, it's sour. He has burnt that bridge and he is going to leave. So I do think you get him. When is a completely different story. But with or without him in the squad, with the signing of the two fullbacks, with the signing of Vitz, with the signing of Ekatike, your expectation is to retain the Premier League title at all costs, right?
yeah, I mean, I would love to retain it, bro. You. If you're giving me a choice, why not? But then, realistically, let's see what Liverpool have done in the transfer window.
Mm,
We've in the last 6 months, we've had 7 departures, including 2 loanees, right?
mm,
And out of that, we had 5 major players departing from the club. Now, I wouldn't say that Nat Phillips wasn't intricate to the squad. He sure
mm,
was. But Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez, bro. Even though the goal scoring was atrocious, but there was some sort of performance coming in from them, right? Some lungs were being expended to get the job done, even if they were not that clinical. Now, in order to replace talent, you need depth. And I
yes.
think Liverpool, that is one area where Liverpool are really struggling right now to be able to create some sort of a supportive system for the people on the pitch. You know, McAllister seemed, I haven't seen him in the preseason. He's apparently not really fit enough to be starting for Liverpool. But look at Arsenal. Look at
Mm,
Arsenal. You still have a lot of depth. Look at Man City. They still have a lot of depth. Quality depth. I'm talking about people on the bench who can exhibit some sort of quality. You know what? You guys might think I'm crazy, but I would still take a Trossard on the bench any day, to be honest. The way he scores goals
yeah.
at crucial times when you actually need him to step up, he does step up for you. Right? I would actually take a Madueke right now on the bench in order to start him when Salah is leaving stinkers on the pitch.
Mm,
Right? Now, what I noticed with Salah, like I know this might sound a bit pessimistic coming in from a Liverpool fan, but what I noticed was that Salah, he's been phenomenal for the club, but at times he does need to be replaced.
mm,
You know, and yeah, you need more legs in the team is what it is. So your expectations from Liverpool, from a rival's perspective or from a neutral's perspective, might be that they should be backing the title up.
mm,
You need to be realistically analyzing what is happening at the club right now. Our net spend is what at 92, 94 million pounds at this point in time, right? Now, if these transfers do kick in, right, then I would agree that we've had a marvelous transfer window. Let's be honest about that, right?
yeah.
Because transfer window just does not involve your ins. You need to look at the outs as well. Who's departing from the club, right? Is that a fair point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the narrative that I'm sticking to.
Yeah. I hear it. Big up to Dana. I see it like that's gonna be a separate show. That's a complete separate show. We do the top four, top six, relegation, all of it. That's a separate show. That's probably coming tomorrow with the Reno guys. Yeah, big up to you. Appreciate your question. Now you said you would take Trossard on in your team. Is that because you have concerns about your left wing depth?
Correct. I don't want him to be resorting to versatility. You know, these jargons make you look like a great philosopher, right?
Mm,
But on the pitch, value is something else. I don't want a Gravenberg to be filling in the ranks for a centre back. I don't want an Endo to be playing that left centre back position when Van Dijk isn't doing well, right?
mm,
I don't want a Hugo Ekitike on the left, even though he looks really good in that rotational regimen happening on the pitch. But I want someone who's actually accustomed to playing on that left flank. And I think, bro, if you're not signing anyone, this might just bring in someone like Trossard, right?
mm,
Who's known for his technical ability, to be honest. I think he's one of the most sharpest bench players you can talk about. And I know that you're frustrated with him, but then expecting Trossard to be a primal hunter, right, for 90. for Arsenal is too much in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
at best you should expect him to come from the bench and help Martinelli. Maybe give an assist, a goal at this point in time. I think he's done a marvelous job for Arsenal, to be honest. But I've been hearing some Arsenal fans talk, being pretty critical about the way they feel about Trossard. But yeah, I have a different opinion on that.
Yeah. Um, any concerns about the performance on Sunday? Or you think the
Arsenal
fan
or
base
Liverpool?
is overreacting?
Liverpool?
Hmm.
Yeah, man, major concerns. I think the first game that we played against Athletic Club, we had our young guns starting. The academy versus their academy. I think that game was solid. To be honest, I think that game gave me more confidence in our system, in our defense. Right, even though we weren't playing some scintillating, creative, um, you know, one-on-one football. It wasn't like one-touch football happening on the pitch, but what I saw in that game was that okay, our young guns can be dependent on, unlike what the academic situation has been over the last couple of seasons, where we haven't really seen many youth coming in from the academy. But now I think with certain acquisitions, stealing certain players from other people's noses, like Rio and Gumoha, I think he's been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, he's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that is one option we have on the left, right? How much are you going to take from a 16-year-old? Are you going to make him play what, 19, 20 games in the Premier League?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's
That's a tough one.
he's
Not
gonna
every
play. He's
not
gonna play.
every guy's Yamal, bro. Yamal ka Kamal. And in Hindi, we say Yamal ka Kamal. That means the magical Lamine Yamal, yeah?
Hmm.
He's the only guy who can throw lavish parties and do magic on the pitch, right?
Yeah, he has something about him. He definitely has something about it. I think, yeah, I mean, you don't get better at football by not playing it. So I think Klopp, I would trust Slot with his development. You see him play, 1,200 to 1,500 minutes with the first team. I think that will help him. But yeah, you won't. I don't think you'll see the best of him for another year, maybe two. I don't. I think. Would you be considering loaning him out so he can get minutes somewhere else, or you want to develop him with the
Keep
squad?
him at the club. No, no, no.
Not the
I
club.
think I think he's gonna get a lot of experience. So I think we were bringing in another left winger. I think the reason why Slot doesn't want to bring them in is because I think he thinks they're gonna shadow Rio and Gumuhua, and he doesn't want him to be the third
Mm,
preferred left winger. In that list. I think he really wants him to be in the squad. So I think he is going to get a lot of game time, if I'm not wrong, right? And I think he has proven everyone right in a way, right? He's got that burst. He's confident, acts with conviction. That footwork is intricate. Bro, I've seen some talent coming in from Liverpool through the academy, and this, even though he's not from our academy, he's gonna light the ground, man. He's just gonna tear everyone apart. He looks like that. Like, I know his demeanor speaks of a Sterling, but then
mm,
he's got a bit more of Malura to him, in a way.
yeah, yeah, I hear it. Big up to LFC Monster. Say if we didn't have Rio, another left wing would have been bought. But having Rio has made them reassess the situation. Fair enough. So that's the thing. Like Liverpool see their talent and reassess. We had a Skelly in the squad and still went and bought and spent money on Calafiori, and then just to realize that Skelly is the better option there. So that's
I have another opinion on that, by the way.
go on.
I think Calafiori is gonna fit your system better with the players that you've actually signed this season. And I
Go
think
on.
Arteta played for the first time. I saw you being involved in more verticality than the usual squaring the ball, just knocking the ball around. Calafiori was occupying some really great positions, by the way, in the last game that he played. I don't know if you noticed that. In fact, Lewis Kelly was struggling in finding the right spaces in that game too. I think Calafiori was just not there, omnipresent technically, but then I was actually making a mark for himself, right? And I think Calafiori might be preferred. I think if you have a fit Calafiori versus an MLS, I think Arteta would start a Calafiori ahead of MLS.
I agree. I do agree with that. Now, when you say Calafiori was picking up good spaces and stuff, you're talking about going forward or defensive posture?
going forward.
Yeah, that's it. That's my problem with him. Going forward, I agree, but I've seen him get caught out looking around, head on a swivel, like he doesn't know where he needs to be when he has played the position before. With Skelly, I understand Skelly doing that. One, he's young and he comes off more like a midfielder to me, so I can understand him being caught out of position. But Calafiori, who has played left back at a higher level for club and country, I don't expect him to make the same silly mistakes that the 17-year-old is making. You know, that's my thing with him. But yeah, I hear your point, man. But with Gahey coming in, and still a couple of potential transfers, I think most people, just being the champions of the Premier League, are giving Liverpool the respect. But on the panel the other day, you gave respect to City. Like, how? So you think it's going to be a shootout with City, Liverpool, and everyone else, or you think it's actually going to be a 4-horse race?
I think it's all guns blazing, man. Like I think Arsenal, City. I don't want to talk about Chelsea. I think it's too soon. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Arsenal and City are the primal, um, you know, the horses in this race. I think Liverpool, honestly, like I don't know why do people think that just because we've splurged a heavy amount for once, we are gonna hit the ground running. I don't think you can assess the club situation, the system, with the expenditure that you've made. The profiles need to be right on the pitch. I mean, I can cite examples from Hassan Huttle's Southampton back in 2016. That was the lowest valuated squad in Premier League history. You had
Right.
the likes of Armstrong playing in the midfield. You had uh, Ward-Prowse, again, technical monster. But at the back, you had Bednarek and a couple of other players too, right? But that squad was the most perfect you would see for a Ralph Hassan Huddle, his system. And I think Southampton ended seventh or sixth that
Mhm.
season. But my point is that they didn't spend a lot of money that season. They spent barely 20, 25 million pounds, but their football was phenomenal to watch, in the Premier League. And I think they did stir a bit of the best of us. Man United lost 4-3 to Southampton, I think, that
Mhm.
season. So yeah, I can cite examples from the past. Teams that have played some phenomenal fluidic football. The longevity has been visible. Of course, they've fallen off because of the Big Six Mafia, who've always had the opportunity of reinforcing their squadron, right? And this season is going to be like that, right?
Yeah.
So my understanding is I'm being very realistic here, right? I'm not trying to safeguard myself. I'm not scared about people taking shots at me later on in the season, which has happened season on season. But
Clip it.
I see other players departing. I see Liverpool acting with conviction, but not with conviction at the same time. So I think, yeah, we're just treading deeper waters. We just need to like ensure this ship is set to sail.
I hear you. Dana says, "Do you have any weaknesses in your team if you reinforce your defense?"
Now the situation looks better,
Mhm.
but I don't even know about this 18-year-old, right? Neither do you.
Yeah.
So let him, once he's here at the club, if we sign a Mark Gahey, if defensively we feel right about Liverpool in the first game week or two, I think I'll be able to make an assessment then. For me to make a comment right now would be quite premature.
Yeah. Yeah. Darren said, "Calafiori is shit is always injured. He will have nothing to this team. He should sell, dude." Now I'm on the train of, okay, he's played 1 year in the Premier League. Okay. I'm gonna give you one more year. I'm gonna give him one more year. I'm not ready to sell him yet because of because players can bounce back from injuries, but I wasn't. His defensive positioning and awareness worries me. I'm not gonna lie. LFC Monster said it's funny you got like 4 left backs and none of them are actual left back. Yeah, it's yeah, it's given. We got left-footed players, but we just let the left back go for free. So how close do you think Man City are to you?
I think they're going to be quite close to us. And there's this one guy who does the talking for them, right? Erling Holland.
Mm,
I haven't really tried analyzing what their supply is going to be like without Kevin De Bruyne, even though he was missing for large portions in the first half of the last season. But Teoni Reindeers looks like the real deal, bro. He
Yeah.
looks like he looks like the missing piece in that midfield. He looks like a guy who actually mulges. Like, I don't know if you've seen clay modeling. Have you tried putting your hands in a clay model, like
Mm.
trying sculpting something out of something? Have you
Wow.
tried doing it?
While ago.
Yeah. So he seems like a guy who's just arrived at the club, and I think he is going to mold the situation for Man City. I think he knows what role he needs to emulate. I think he's not going to be a replication of a David Silva or a Kevin De Bruyne.
Mm.
But he's going to be that presence in the midfield that would keep things tight. The counter press is not going to be ineffective, unlike what we've witnessed with Liverpool. The only problem with Liverpool is the counter press, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what Soboslai was doing in that double pivot situation. Okay, you wanted him to play a deep lying playmaker role. Fine, bro. Worked for 20-25 minutes. And then, but the energy, the same level of energy wasn't being exhibited on the pitch, unlike what we've seen from him in that number 10 position. So we've hit a conundrum, right? But Man City, I think they look pretty solid to me. Yeah. So
Yes.
I think City expect them to be on top maybe by November, December. I think that's what their pattern is always like. They start slow, but towards the end of the season, it's really hard to beat them.
Yeah. I think if they survive the Rodri injury until like the
December.
international break, yeah, Rodri comes back after this first or second international break, and City are up there thereabouts. Then yeah, then I'm worried because we've seen these men put runs together, unprecedented runs. Like that more than anybody, what I'm saying? Because they let you man put 97 and 92 points on the board and still didn't win the league.
Is
But
Akanji leaving the club?
hmm?
Is Akanji, Manuel Akanji, leaving the club?
I don't think so. I don't think he leaves.
All right.
I think he stays there. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's quite important to Pep Guardiola's system. John Stones, man, I feel bad for that guy, bro. The moment they signed him, he was dormant for 2 years, and then out of nowhere, when I thought John Stones he's been written off, they started playing him. He played as a star player for 3-4 years, and now all of a sudden he's nowhere in the scene again, right? I don't
mm,
I don't understand Pep Guardiola at times, man. He's really complex a manager to break down.
yeah. Arsenal only bought Arteta in because they thought he would be second coming of Pep and come second three times. It will not be a fourth time. We'll be lucky if we finish fourth. Yeah, that prediction show tomorrow where I'm gonna actually, based on potential incoming transfers and business already done, I'll do some preview and prediction for the season. But I don't have Arsenal coming second as of right now. But transitioning to Arsenal, man, like from a neutral. The assessment of Arsenal transfer window. What do you make of it? Because I think it's been poor.
See, some clubs don't really need more players, honestly.
Mm,
Like you guys were craving for a striker. You got one, right? You have a Zubimendi, by the way, who looks amazing in that midfield, man. I
mm,
wish I had him, to be honest. He rejected Liverpool, and I think this guy is going to be massive for you this season, right? Like last game, bro, the number of turnovers this guy was instilling, man, looked dangerous to me. I don't think I've seen anyone closer to Fabinho turning the game around than maybe this guy now.
really? You rate
Yeah,
him that high?
Rodri, of course. Rodri's been there in the scene always. Rodri, of course, he's up there for sure. But Zubimendi, bro, the short passing, that vision on a smaller scale looks good to me, right? Like if you see the sample size of midfielders, the DMs that are available in the market, I think
Mm,
Zubimendi is the real deal, bro. But
yeah.
unlike what we saw from so Fabinho was another pedigree altogether. Like that guy had great holding abilities, was interceptive by nature, would supply some creative deliveries up front, right? And could hold the ball up really high too. You could see that from Fabinho. He was like a gladiator on the pitch. But that peak lasted what, 2-3 years long? That's it. He
Mm,
lost his legs after that, right? Um, but I think Zubimendi is like he's gonna get the job done. I feel, and I think he's the closest to what I've seen from when it comes to Rodri and Fabinho. Yeah, he's gonna be up there with them, bro.
I hear it. 1 second, Yudi. At minute number 26 and 10, I spotted the legend has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybach music.
Rose a born stunner. I could blow money. 50 when I'm shot. I'm the biggest boss that you seen thus far. Cause it's just another day in the life of the. I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover. Whipping work. Follow me. I'm so sophisticated. To get a verse from me, you gotta be initiated.
Maybach
E. Rouse.
music.
E. Rouse has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Big up to E. Rouse every single time. I forgot to warn you, man. About I usually warn my guests. We have this legend that's E. Rouse. Whenever he enters the chat stops because we have to introduce him a certain way. Or
It's like paying
yeah,
tribute to a legend of the
yeah,
club.
he's gonna hold us hostage if we don't if we don't acknowledge him properly. You know, that about him. So big up. Ross. But yeah, I think Zimmerman. I think your points about Zimmerman are good. My worry, Yudi, is the drop off between him and Norgard when he does, because I've seen the games that Norgard started in, and I'm like, oh my god, he is not it. And I don't think Arteta is going to play Declan Rice in the sixth when Zubi picks up a knock or he has to get rotated. He's going to play Norgard there, and Norgard. He didn't come up in a system at Brentford in a ball dominant player from the back type system, and he looks uncomfortable there. So I think you have more depth in your midfield. I think City has more depth in their midfield. I think Chelsea has more quality depth in their midfield.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, so
200% on that.
yeah, I'm a little concerned there, but yeah, I do think Zubimendi is.
Chelsea can make 3 teams out of that team, bro. They're
Yeah.
that good.
I think they got 48 players on their books. 48. Because they're gonna start Caicedo, Enzo, and Palmer, right? But there's also Lavia, who
No
when he
wonder they have so many hiccups, brain fart moments throughout the season, bro. You've got too much to carry now. 48 players, bro, that's going to be too much. Maresca is going to get the job done too for them. I think they're definitely going to be somewhere in the top 4, top 5. You never know. They might just be on the top.
yeah, I mean, because you include him in the horse race, right?
Mm. Bro, football is a funny sport, right?
Mm.
Can't really predict the right situation, and this has always happened to me. But my experience says that Chelsea are definitely going to be in the top 4, top 5. And surprisingly, like people aren't really talking enough about Man United, man. I think Benjamin Sesko, right? Embuemo looks like another player altogether. Embuemo looks like a player who could have actually fitted that class of '92 with Man United. Honestly, no disrespect to the legends of the game, but he looks like that player, bro. He looks like he's doing the job on his own, like going into deeper spaces, hovering really dangerous territory, and then bouncing 40, 50 yards ahead on his own, trying to find Lombard on the right, trying to find Bruno Fernandes in the center. And then you have a Matheus Cunha who's still struggling to find the right, to find his feet. Yeah, I think they're going to be okay though. I think Benjamin Sheshko, even though I've heard that he is going to turn out to be like another Darwin, that's what Liverpool fans are saying. But yeah, he scored some massive goals, man, for Leipzig. So let's see what they hold for 25-26. But I just had a question for you, man. And this might seem a little mind-boggling to you, but so you've had around 9 fullbacks under Arteta, right? I can start naming them for you. Starting from Tierney, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Kivior was a fullback, and then, LCB, whatever. Timber, Calafiori, MLS, Nuno Tavares, Bukayo Saka started as a left back. Maitland-Niles, right? Mosquera, Hato, again, Chelsea player, but was again linked with you guys. What do you think? What has Arteta, if you have to give him a rating or if you need to create an assessment of his understudy for left backs, right? From the pre-arrival to the arrival, and to setting the stage for them. and then growing and nurturing them. What is your synopsis on that?
Just on the fullbacks.
Just on the fullbacks. Like, I'm just trying to understand what do you. This is like you're going to set the premise for what you think about Calafiori and then MLS, right? Under Arteta specifically.
Yeah, I think he has a prototype in his head, and I don't know if he goes to the club and say, "I want my fullback to have these attributes," and they give him a list of player, and then he chooses. I think Timber's been a hit, right? But I don't know if he bought Timber to play him at right back or center back, because he brought Ben White as a center back. But Saliba was so good that he had to move Ben White outside when Saliba came back from his third loan. So, but Timber has been, in my opinion, the best fullback that he has signed, if he had indeed signed him as a fullback. On the left-hand side, he knew what Zinchenko was when he was at Man City. Pep was creative enough to incorporate him into the team to get him minutes, knowing he wasn't really a fullback. He is a midfielder. You know, he plays there for Ukraine. When he lines up at left back, he gives you an overload advantage into the midfield. Then he signed Calafiori, but he's been injured for the most part, so I can't truly assess him yet, right?
But I think Pep literally, Zinchenko was Pep's favorite man for a long time. And in fact, the season he departed, he was actually playing major competitions for Man City, and I fail to understand why does Pep do this season on season, letting go of players who actually mean the most to him, right? And for Arteta, I thought he's actually going to be the next.
The thing with Zinchenko is,
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I just thought he might be someone important to the club, Zinchenko, and expecting a tad bit more from him. Yeah.
No, it's Zinchenko and Pep. I don't think Pep had big plans to Zinchenko. I think Pep was forced to play Zinchenko when that Benjamin Mendy ended up in that mess that he ended up in, because he had spent a lot of money on Mendy. And Mendy was actually a good left back, but then he got into the off the field issues, and Pep was left with I seen him play Fabian Delph there. He was left with not many options there, and Zinchenko actually worked there. As a matter of fact, I remember the 2021 league title that they won when it came down to the last day, when you had Wolves at home and they had Villa. It was Zinchenko who came on and actually changed that game. So yeah, Zinchenko did play a big part for him, but Pep was also aware of his defensive lapses. And the thing I don't like about Zinchenko, like, as a defender, you can't do interviews telling people that you can't defend. You can't do interviews telling people that when you see Mo Salah with the ball, you're shitting your pants. And then we go to Anfield, and then you let Mo Salah cook you, and you let Trent cook you. He doesn't look like he likes to defend. Like, whenever Gabriel makes a tackle, he gets up and he's like, even Mosquera, the new guy, when he comes in and he wins an aerial duel, he has something about him. I don't think Zinchenko wants to be bothered. Like, defense is more effort than skill, and he just doesn't put in the effort. The other fullbacks, Maitland-Niles, I think he saw himself as a midfielder as well. The only true left back or fullback that was here at the club is Tierney, but people argue about his injury record here and there. But Arteta's system doesn't really thrive on the overlap. He wants to invert. I don't know why. I don't know what data he looks at to say that it works, but that's the system he wants to play. But out of all the fullbacks that he has signed, I think Timber's been the only one that bang. I really don't think he signed Ben White as a fullback. He wanted him to be a center back. That's why he signed him and gave him Saliba's number. Let me just jump back into a couple of these comments. Big up to E Ross saying, hit the likes, people, if you haven't already. It really helps the channel. It sure does.
Top content from
LFC Master said, don't let the voice distract you that Woody is the villain. Yeah, Woody needs to do like voiceovers and radio commercials, man. Big boys. That's why the channel is called Loudmouth Football, people.
I used to do it back in India for toothpaste brands like Colgate and
really?
tobacco brands. Yeah, fuck. Yeah. I had to eat tobacco, man.
Hey, there you go.
Going for me.
Yeah, Norgard should just play right back cover as Timber cover, and MLS goes to DM. Yeah, I don't trust his ball playing ability if because Zubimendi, he cannot play 38 games. He will get rotated. Say, what are your expectations for the upcoming season in all competitions? I throw that to you, bro. You are Liverpool. You were supposed to do the quadruple. You're supposed to clean up.
Come on, bro. Fuck those.
All right, quadruple, man. Like, the key word.
Nonsense, man. Fuck. Absolute nonsense. It boils my blood up, bro. Like, I'm just gonna lose my shit on this. Like, quadruple, treble, man. How do I've never heard of these narratives before, man. Before 2018. new generation of Gen Z warriors out of nowhere. No doubt about that. They're the quickest, sharpest. Kudos to them for that. But that delusion is just unwarranted, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah, there's a
Anyhow,
reason why it's never happened. You know, there's a reason why. As long as football has been played, there's a reason why that's never happened. It's a it's a bad one.
and you know what? These conversations don't need to be emphasized on. Kudos to Pep, man. Great job. Man City did it, right? Good for them, bro. That's the respect that I'm giving him, right? You don't need to have conversations on fucking winning the treble or not. But yeah, trophies, when you talk about trophies, Carabao, FA, Liverpool have been lucky enough to win either one of those, you know, when they don't win something major. So expecting a trophy isn't too bad a shout here, but then backing the Premier League, bro, that's too much of an ask. But I do know that that's how the media works. Pressure is going to be on Liverpool. Of course, Onslaught's job is secure for the next 2 seasons. I can guarantee you that, and he's not going to be in a pole position to be getting sacked and all that. But talking about the Champions League again, one more tournament. I think we have Premier League teams have a good chance of competing in the Champions League now. I don't see a Real Madrid under. I think Xabi Alonso is actually not going to last long, man. But Real Madrid, the way things are looking for them, bro. The only silver lining for them, I think, is Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth, who looks really good in that system. Yeah, I've seen them in preseason, game on game, bro. They struggle a lot. It looks chaotic with Valverde and Jude Bellingham in that midfield, bro. They're not really getting to know. They can't really understand the gist of what is happening in that system. Anyhow, I think, yeah, Liverpool, Champions League, or Premier League. I hope we get one of that, man.
Yeah. So, do you think he is tinkering with the team too much? You think he is tinkering with the team too much?
Alonso?
No, Slot.
No, I don't think so, man. I think this is his first actual season. Let's just, give him the flowers for what he's done with Klopp's squad. But he needed younger players. He needed players who are actually creative up front and who can hold the ball up really well. I think Ekitike for 95 million euros, I can see now why Liverpool maybe overspent on him. Like, looks like a crafted striker. And football IQ is up there for sure. I think what I've seen him in the last 2 games, I think Ekitike might not be a top striker, but he's definitely a crafted, well-tooled up footballer. And I think the link-up was, those 20-25 minutes that I saw from Ekitike, from Wits, from Gakpo, man, even Gakpo, looked like they were trying to, just take charge of the situation. And the one-touch football was just phenomenal to watch, to be honest. And I thought the way Florian Wirtz was releasing players into attacking spaces in behind the defense was just marvelous to watch once again. But Salah, man, the reason I was so critical in my last video about Salah, the moment we are inducing all this tiki-taka, you expect Salah to be getting into the situation just like, taking charge and probably get a shot on target, but he couldn't even beat the defender. So I think Salah's been a great servant to the club, man. No doubt about that. You're trying to find another right winger, maybe, who can actually help him out, right, in moments. Because you're not expecting a 33-year-old or 34-year-old to play a 38 long season, man. And I know I've received a lot of flack for this in the past, but this is my opinion, and I sincerely think that Liverpool should be thinking of recruiting or at least growing someone like Rio and Gumoha. Maybe Rio might start playing from the right, but you don't want that, bro. Right? We don't want another Timo Werner in the Premier League, right?
Yeah. So you think, say you don't get Isak, right? Say a world exists where Newcastle just, okay, we're not selling you the player. He's on the contract. We're just gonna cast him out the squad and we're not going to play him. Do you see a world where Slot kind of moves Salah? Because he is, 33, 34? Even though he's in top-notch shape. Do you think he could move him more centrally? So he don't have to
Salah is comfortable in that number 9 role. He actually converges into that position quite often under a slot system. I think I think, in fact, like I mentioned, bro, this squad, if you actually look at it, all profiles are really versatile. You had a Soboslai playing as a right wing or right midfielder in Leipzig, right? And he played an attacking midfielder role, even a false nine at times. You've seen a Florian Wirtz playing on the left, nine, right? Attacking midfielder again, right? Same with all other players, man. Every player on that pitch, bro. We have every starting 11 primal player has played in 2 or 3 positions on his day, right? And that's the beauty of what Slaughter is coming up with. And I can see that he wants them to be a bit, give a tad bit more than what they do usually, or what they would be expected to do, because this is Liverpool that we're talking about, right? And the reason why we've been this resurgence under FSG, which was not expected or unprecedented, it came through because of such situations, like discipline, right? Your expectations must be better and bigger than clubs than Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, and City. That's how it works, right? That's why Liverpool are the most threatening right now in the Premier League, right?
Yeah, like big up LFC Monster says Slot had around 10 new players during the summer at Feyenoord and went on to win the league. Didn't know that LFC Monster, so appreciate that nugget. But what I guess the point that I was making, I think most Liverpool fans would have been happy if the season had ended and you won the league and Trent left, you replaced Trent, and Liverpool fans weren't really happy with Darwin. I don't know if you were or not. And okay, got rid of Darwin and get Ekitike. So you improved on striking and you replaced Trent. I think most Liverpool fans would have been comfortable running it back. Well, this is a title-winning team. We replaced the guy that left, and we upgraded on our striker. You know, I think most Liverpool fans would. But the fact that you went and upgraded your midfield with a record transfer, and I don't think Andy Robertson was terrible last year. You can tell he's declined a bit, but I don't think he was terrible. So Kirkes, that's fantastic.
He wasn't terrible, but like when you have a footballer in his prime, you get to see 8 out of 10 traits oozing out loud. That has just regressed to what, 3 or 4 for Robertson, right? He's lost a few yards for sure. Technical ability's gone down. He had a handicap, could only play with his left foot, wasn't comfortable, wasn't ambi-pedal, wasn't really comfortable on both feet. So yeah, we've lost a lot in him. But then, yeah, you're right about one thing. That maturity when it comes to defending, giving it his all. Of course, he had that hiccup. But barring that, I think he was okay. But still, we do need a new left back, and which is why I think we've entrusted Kirkes with that role. But what I saw with Kirkes, man, that Hungarian partnership, bro, in that double pivot situation, and with the left back, bro, Kirkes and Soboslai, and then the left centre half are Van Dijk. 3 players with gaping holes, man. Like you're supposed to cover those yards up. I don't care if you're pushing the ball up or pressing up ahead. Who's going to cover the back, man? You don't have a McAllister in that situation. Gravenberch was on the right. You're not expecting a Konate pulling a Rudiger or a Upamecano and, just hovering into no man's land and defending with all their might. You're not expecting him to do that. So Van Dijk has to step up, and then we've seen it, and people are talking about this, like after the ACL, what Pickford did to Van Dijk. We've been seeing the signs and all that, but honestly, I thought last season is when I actually got to see it. Of course, he might have regressed with his age and all that, but like the blaring weaknesses is what I sensed last season. Like he doesn't look game ready to me. He looks like he's been falling short when it comes to. He's had a few lapses in focus and not able to give his entirety to the game. And it's fine, he's been a great servant too. Yeah.
All right, so probably a lot of Liverpool fans in here, so I asked the question. They can answer too, but this is for you. Everyone fit, right? Squad's fully fit. Yeah. What's your starting midfield? Do you run it back with the guys who won you the league last year, or you incorporate your record signing?
I don't know what is he trying to do with Soboslai. I think the only problem is if you're playing, I don't think he's going to get rid of McAllister and Gravenberch. I don't think, because when it comes to starting the season, I think he would want them to start. I think Soboslai is going to go on the bench, right? He's going to go on the bench. McAllister did not really get to play the preseason. So in that situation, Soboslai will start ahead of him. But when it comes to full match fitness, you should expect to see McAllister, Gravenberch in that double pivot, Wirtz up ahead, Ekitike as a 9, if not Isak, Salah and Gakpo. That's what Liverpool is going to be like. And the only thing is, I think we need. I don't know if we are actually going to be able to sustain what Slot thinks in his head. I don't know. I'm just a little skeptical about the situation because I haven't seen this humongous amount of change happening in the club, bro, in the longest. So you need to understand that it seems a bit frantic to me as well. Like losing many players and then bringing in entirely new players. It just. Do you think we set the premise for them to actually grow, like following the ethos of what the club is like? Is there a legend of the club like James Milner or Jordan Henderson to be imparting that knowledge, that wisdom when you need leaders on the pitch? Do you expect a McAllister and Gravenberch to be embodying that role? Do you expect someone like Van Dijk to be doing that? Yeah, sure, Van Dijk is going to do that, but he's not in his prime anymore. At least you have a Declan Rice who's actually gonna okay, Zubimendi's in the club. Don't worry about the situation, bro. Like everything's gonna be fine. We have a good partnership going on. Yeah, he's gonna give. There's gonna be a lot of optimism in Arsenal. I feel. I think Arsenal, in fact, you guys should be looking forward to your season, right? Even Liverpool should be, but then I just feel a little bit on the edge with what is happening right now. I don't know if these players are gonna click or not. Yeah. I don't see any sustainability per 90. I think 25, 30 minutes of football and then deflated players on the pitch, man. Like, I don't know what happened, bro. Preseason was an eye-opener for me, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it. Big up to the assemble. Transitioning to Arsenal said, "Do you think the way Arsenal are doing business is based on arrogance?" No, I think it's based on incompetence. That's what I think. There are a lot of rich clubs nowadays while Arsenal are dragging their feet. They sign elsewhere. So the thing with me is, right, Eze has a release clause. If he has a release clause and the club really wants him, you damn sure don't let the release clause expire, right? If something is on, so essentially, Eberechi Eze, one of the best creative midfielders in the Premier League, is on sale. That a release clause. He's on sale for a bargain price. If something is on sale and you really want it, you don't wait until the sale expires and it goes back to the MSRP. Because now you have to negotiate with Palace. So Palace can say, okay, there's no negotiation, there's no release clause. Now you have to pay me 80 million. Now Arsenal's gonna say that we don't have that. You've priced them out the market. Now that's bull because it was available for less than what you paid up front for Madueke. But that tells me that you didn't want the player. You wanted Madueke, and that's who you got. And there is no world where I think Madueke improves us more than Eze. I just don't think Arteta wants him at the club.
That's think that one Glock 14 finish has actually calmed Arsenal fans down 1 in 3 games? Do you think it has calmed your nerves? What Gyökeres did with that finish?
I think it put a couple of people at ease who didn't want to see Kai Havertz start against Man United, because I think if he didn't score and Kai Havertz came on and did score, I think he would start Kai Havertz. I think he still might start Kai Havertz because the amount of minutes he played Kai Havertz in midfield in the preseason tells me that he was trying to play Havertz in the form. Because if Havertz was banging goals in the preseason against AC and against Newcastle and all these, I think he would start him. I think he would definitely start him. He still might. Don't want him to, but I don't know.
Honestly, tell me, be honest about it, right? I know you've seen what Havertz is like he's not fully fit and all that stuff, but he has taken me out of some grave situations. Like, he scored some match winners for you, man. Like, without Havertz, I think you guys wouldn't even be in that position, right? Last season too. A fully fit Havertz, I still feel this. Okay, I don't know why. A fully fit Havertz is what he'll prefer, because when it comes to a pocket player, Arteta, as the usual Arteta that I've seen, likes slowing the pace of the game down, and then he wants a pocket player to rise in that occasion. I think Havertz is going to be that guy. And I'm not expecting an immediate change in tactics because Gyökeres is in the club. We've seen that. He's tried changing it up, but then eventually he did bring in Havertz in that position and he scored a goal out of nowhere. That goal was marvelous, by the way.
Yeah, he was. I think he was the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal. I was surprised he stayed on his feet, Yudi. Normally he falls over the minute he feels any contact. Big up to the Waffle Down. Said, is McAllister world class? This question has lit a fire in this chat before, because I said he isn't, but I didn't say he's a bad player. Just based on I'm an older guy in it, and my world class criteria is kind of different from the modern day people, from the modern day fan. Like a player can be good without being thrown in the world class category. So I don't know what you think about McAllister being world class.
I'm sorry, were you asking me something?
Yeah, the question on the screen is McAllister world class.
Bro, I think, man, I go on a story mode, man. I don't want to like be storytelling here on BBK's podcast. I think McAllister is not world class. No, if you want me to answer that question, I don't think he's world class. I don't think he's a world beater, but I think he's a world class player for onslaught system for sure. Even for Brighton, he worked out really well. He was an upcoming player in that system, and he made a big name for himself. But I think too soon to be called world class. But
Yeah,
he's shown us some world class goals from
Yeah.
35, 30 years out. Yeah, I mean, my definition of world class is something else.
Yeah, mine is too as well. See, the thing for me is like in that position, I think growing up watching football, a world class player in that position for me was Zizou. I don't think McAllister sits at that table yet, but
But as a six, world class as a six too, like that definition can be molded a bit. Like we've seen some hybrid six roles over the last couple of years too. Like McAllister is not a primal six, right? He's not. He's a holding six, a deep lying playmaker in a way.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, Waffle Down was trying to start beef here. What happened with your some owners? So Yudi, I wanted to ask you this, about the owners in the summer, because a lot of people were FSG out. Now I've actually heard people like big up to D-Dubs from D-Dubs perspective. He was fully FSG out, but this year how they're moving, he's full FSG in. Now, if FSG said to you, okay, this was the plan all along, we just had to get certain things in order, right? Would you accept that as okay, you knew what you were doing, or you would say the hell with that, investment here or there, and we could have 2 more Premier League titles?
You know what? Just repeat the question. Yeah.
No, do you think this was the plan all along for them to move this way in the transfer window, based on factors that the fans don't know about, or do you think they could have do this type of investment when Klopp was there, and Liverpool fans would have had at least 2 more Premier League titles?
Klopp was done and dusted, man. And you know what? The signs were quite blaring. Just because we don't know what is happening in the back room, right, with the management. Of course, things came out later when we got to know that Michael Edwards was supposedly not happy with Jurgen Klopp. That's why he departed, and then he was re-signed in a better position. And Klopp wasn't there at the club. And we knew what happened with that loyalty clause, that Klopp had for all players. Right, we had to let go of all those players, which was the right decision to make. But FSG, you need to understand this. FSG are not someone who are. I don't think they are the ones making the big decisions. They are just the one. They're just like the piggy bank for the directors. I think they've actually given a lot of autonomy to the staff that they've hired, which is tremendous. I think that's how it should be for any organization, right? Whether a football club or a basketball team or whatever you want to talk about. But for Liverpool, particularly, being FSG out, it sounds ludicrous to me, to be honest. Even if it came down to 2017, 2016, I think FSG's done a great deal, man. What do you expect from a club like Liverpool, who've been struggling for the longest, since I was born? Yeah, maybe since then, but in the 90s, I think, I thought Liverpool are going to transition into a good era, like in the 21st century, we were expecting Michael Owen and some of the greats of the game to step up, and we always missed it by a whisker, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think the reason why I am so proud of the team and the club right now is because of whatever little we've achieved after Klopp is massive. And we've won, if not for Man City, I think we've been the second best in the Premier League with that longevity.
Yeah. I agree. Big up to Sweet Cherry. Says good morning, BBK, and the guest. My guest is Yudi from Loudmouth Football People. So if you haven't subscribed to Loudmouth Football, you are missing out on some fantastic content on the Red Club that is Liverpool. So Yudi, let me ask you this bit, like before we wrap up. The front line or Klopp's team, like you said, Klopp was done and dusted, right? But that Klopp team of that front line of Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, Mo Salah, that midfield of Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, are they better than this team?
Yeah, bro. Like you take me back in time. I'm gonna bring that team back. Like they, of course, now they're not at the same level. But when he signed them, bro, imagine Jurgen Klopp deserves the flowers because he grew all these players. There would be no Van Dijk, no Mo Salah today without Jurgen Klopp, right? So, like, as much, I mean, I'm romanticizing it, but this is the truth, right? Liverpool have turned out to be a club that it's a very loving club, Out of all the Premier League teams, you feel like, okay, if you're going to Liverpool, you're going to be loved by all, right? You don't feel any animosity towards any stakeholder attached with the club. I think, having said that, you can't replace that talent, to be honest. Sadio Mane is irreplaceable, and you probably won't get a player like him. Maybe Rio Ngamoha, as he grows, maybe might turn out to be like him. Ben Doak for sure is not going to turn out like Sadio Mane, but for me, no, bro. You tell me a better false nine edition. You tell me a better false nine player with his IQ. No one expected him to be the way he was. A kid who used to play for what? Schalke, some German team, right?
Offenheim. I think it was Offenheim.
Yeah.
Offenheim, yeah. It was
bro. Maybe his technical ability was marvelous. Not a goal scorer. Imagine 2 seasons doing him the slander for not being a goal scorer, man. Yeah. He was setting Salah and Mane up on every occasion. And these guys have the fucking audacity to do that, right? But
I think he was the best on the ball, ball to feet. He had the most tech in that entire team. The ball at his feet. He was something else, man. He was cold,
bro. You talk. I know we're in a hurry, but talk about Henderson. Talk about these players. Henderson was Mr. Liverpool, right? Like you call police a Captain America and all that, which I don't think he is. Henderson was Mr. Liverpool, right? Why? Because he emulated the roles of being a workhorse, a leader, an aggressor, right? Technical ability wasn't the best, but bro, other aspects, the guy was peaking, man. This is the sort of leader you would expect at the club.
He was
induced the right talent, the right creativity, and the leadership. James Milner, Van Dijk, and Henderson, right?
Yeah.
Losing it out loud, man.
Yeah, big up to LFC Master. Now, all right, I'm gonna one more Liverpool question before we wrap up. I always ask the Liverpool fans this one. I get come on here, and it's away from the madness. It's a much more jovial question. Okay, we're gonna start, bench, sell. I'm gonna give you 3 names. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mo Salah, Stephen G, Suarez.
Prime versions?
Yes.
Prime versions.
Yes.
Bro, scoring goals is the most difficult part of the game. I would say that. Suarez starts for me any day, man. Suarez, bro. I don't care if he's biting my neck. Right? I don't care if he's but Suarez for me any day, bro. The what I saw under Brendan Rodgers, man. Even though I didn't know what the manager had under his wing, I still think Suarez was the best striker that we've seen in the Premier League. One of the best, you can say for sure. Though short-lived, but that impact was massive. Stevie G, of course, I would love to play him, Mr. Liverpool himself, but yeah, he'll be on the bench. And then Salah, bro. No matter how many goals he scored, bro. If you have a prime Suarez and a prime Salah, I would still take a prime Suarez, and unfortunately, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. Suarez was, I think he was scoring every game. I think he was suspended for 6 games and still racked up 30-something goals that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was different, man.
I have a last question for you, right? Looking
Yeah.
at the transfer market right now, it's been really volatile. Rodrigo, Donnarumma to Man City, right? Some situation with Leon Bailey departing to Konate departing, maybe. So many other players also, like City are making big moves also. We can't deny that. What do you think? What is the feeling like as you're nearing game week 1?
I think we're still short. I don't think we did all we needed to do in the transfer window. I kind of like my club to control the controllables, right? If you know you have a weakness in your team, you feel it going into the squad. I really think we need an upgrade in our left wing, and I don't think we addressed that. I think we addressed the striker issue. Finally, after 8 transfer windows in 4 years, Aubameyang left in 2021. I think we addressed the deputy for Saliba in Mosquera. I would have liked to have one more midfielder, not Norgard. I think between him becoming the new Jorginho isn't enough for me. The only thing he can do better than Jorginho is he has legs. Jorginho is a much better passer of the ball and played at a much higher level. So yeah, I think we're still short, man. I wish we had done more, but you know, the transfer window is still open. Argument for me, but no, the season
You
starts.
do know this, right? You're gonna get trawlers on all over social media, even if you lose, even if you don't win anything this season.
Mm.
They are not ready to hear your excuses. You do know what is coming ahead, right?
Yeah. Yesterday's spot, I named it "No Excuses." No excuses season, because I've already heard murmurs of excuses being made for the manager and for the club. I'm like, no. We've all had the same amount of time in the transfer window to improve our squads. Liverpool are making it clear, you know, they want to control all they can control going into the season prepared. I think we're going into the season with hope. I don't think we're going into the season very well prepared, and that annoys me. LFC Monster said he starts DVG, sub Suarez, sell Salah. Rah!
Fair, man. Yeah, I think majority of the people are gonna go with this.
Yeah.
But you expect Gen Z fans to come in and say start Salah and then sub Suarez and sell TVG, man. You don't they won't shy away from doing that either.
Arsenal haven't addressed their striker issue, in my opinion. BBK Gyökeres get injured, we're back in the fair. That's a fair point.
Why would it be that fair? You know, like you have more strikers on the pitch. You've got Gabriel Jesus, you've got Havertz. Right, come on, bro. Come on. Bro. Were you expecting him to sign 2 strikers in one transfer window? Be honest about
it. Yeah, you're signing 2 strikers in one window. Ekatike Isak is quality depth. Yeah, it's quality depth.
Okay, I get what you're trying to say. We don't know if Isak is going to come to the club just because he's homeless, just because he left Newcastle. We don't know.
Now, Liverpool fans would have preferred him to have already been there, but he's coming to the club. He will be. Now the question is he gonna wear the number 9 shirt or the 14? Are you man keeping Chiesa or no?
No, you can take him. He's gonna remain. He's gonna be useless, man. Unfortunately, and I think it'll be nice to see him start in the World Cup, man. Italy needs some, dynasty. Yes, I was a mover in his day.
That's cool, man. But Yudi, let the people know where they can find you and what you got coming up, man, for content.
Yeah, man. I think BBK has already linked my channel, Loudmouth Football. Check it out, man. If you like it, do sub to it. I make short videos, quick, but videos which will strike you, which will give you some food for thought. Yeah. Right? So do check it out.
Yeah, I can second that, people. His videos are very, very concise, so to speak. They're very straight to the point. Opinions backed up by facts, data, statistics, and that's what we're on. Right? Your opinion has to be based in some form of logic, statistic, or some form of irrational thinking. That's what you will get over at Yudi on Loudmouth Football. The man that want to link up with Hendo, say for those in the London area, Friday the 15th, link up. Big up to Dal, the Oregon Gooner. Yeah, Stuart Spot. See, this is, and make sure you post those pics on Insta, man. I love to see the community link up outside of football, man. I absolutely love it. For the 16 of you left locked in, we're going to send you over to Shane Gooner. Shane is the BBK Red. Make sure you do so. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Yudi and Loudmouth Football joining BBK Sports. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, we are gone.